You don't keep track of my career, but I watch yours.
Is there anybody, I know that CMS always likes to start. Is there anybody that would like to start besides CMS? Not that you can't start, you may start. You want to jump up and work, Felix? Okay, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So for your edification, David and Karen, what we do first, we tape all our memorized scenes from last week. All we've done is we read through them last week and sort of chatted about them a little bit. Take a look at. I'm not a believer in method or any of that stuff. The process we use on 1 degree of separation from Sanford Meisner, although we do not do repetition exercises here. What we do, however, is improvisation, cold reading, which I like to call sight reading, like in music. And we work consistently on storytelling, working moment by moment and impulse by impulse. And that's what these guys do. So the first thing we do is tape the scenes that we sort of read through last week. And then we'll take a quick break, potty break, water break, coffee break, candy break. And then we will do cold reads for next week. So that sort of brings you up to speed. Keep your papers still, people, please.
Maybe he's good.
Who starts the scene?
I do.
We're rolling. We have speed. We have a mark. Action.
Hello, Howard.
Hello, Peter.
I was just passing by and thought I'd drop in. You know, I haven't seen you in such a long time. Did you know that Guy Francois made me his partner last week?
No.
You know, you don't keep track of my career, but I watch yours. Yeah, it's called Francois in Keating now, and I guess I don't have to tell you that Guy Francois is the leading architect in the country right now.
No, you don't have to tell me that.
Yeah. Remember how I told you once that I'd rise? Are you waiting for something, Howard?
You were telling me about Guy Francois?
Right, I was just telling you about something I had once predicted. You know, I hate to see you down like this, man. You remember how we started? And look at us now. How much more of this can you take?
Why did you come here, Peter?
Because we're old friends and I hate to see you beaten.
Oh, I'm not.
There's no use in lying about it. You haven't had a client in a year.
Oh, you're wrong. It's been a year and a half.
Right, and you might have a couple $100 left and then that's it.
$14. Oh, and 57 cents.
Right. And all those bills. I mean, this is an unpaid light bill, isn't it?
Oh, no. No, that is a disconnect notice. Oh, and that's an eviction notice.
Right. So how much more of that can you take?
That's my concern, not yours.
You know, you can pay me back whenever you want, by the way. You need it.
Peter, no thank you. I don't need your help.
But I want to help.
Look, I don't give or ask for help.
Why don't you drop it?
What?
The charade, or the pose, or the ideals, or whatever you want to call it. You can't stand alone anymore. Just give in. Learn how to get along with people, first of all, and then start designing the buildings that everyone else does, and you will be rich. You will be successful. You'll be affluent. You'll finally be one of us.
Is that what's bothering you? Oh, that I want to stand alone? Is that it?
I don't know.
Look, it's getting late. Go home, Peter.
You lost your watch, Howard?
I hawked it. Good night.
Good luck.
And cut. All right, how'd that feel?
Pretty good.
That's good.
Should have felt good.
Yeah,
It was
pretty
pretty strong.
He's very good
Pretty
with
strong.
memorizing, so it's...
Well, you know, here's the deal. Acting is a team sport.
Sure.
If you don't want to be an active member of a team sport, don't be an actor. You don't act alone. Even someone doing a one-person show
Right.
doesn't act alone. They have a crew, they have a sound booth, they have camera people. You don't do it alone. So if you're concerned about your lines and your memorization, which as we get older does happen, then you depend on your partner to help you in the event that something goes awry. Okay? And it will. So don't think it won't, because it will. You know, I've worked with actors making $500,000 a week that couldn't remember their lines. They were still making $500,000 a week. You know, okay, so what? You know, I could tell you a long story about Pernell Roberts and I guest starring on a very, very large major show, and both of us, seasoned actors, wanted to kill the two young actors we were working with because they kept screwing around and horsing around. And he was a fire chief and I was a fire captain, and we kept burning down buildings. It was not an easy shoot. There were 3 crews.
You were literally burning down.
Literally. Yeah, literally burning down
I
buildings.
thought it was a metaphor.
Yeah.
No. It was a actual situation.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, okay, I like, go in there, be a little more intrusive at the very beginning. You want to utz him a little bit. You're not there to help him. And at the beginning of the scene this time, it sounded as though you're really there to help. But you're not. You're there to gloat. You're there to stick it to him. You're there to put that little final last pin in the voodoo doll, whatever. And you just don't want to deal with him. You don't give a shit about him. You know, why?
I should have just slammed the door in his face.
Yeah. Well, and in actuality, maybe you would have done that
Right.
in real life. But he sort of barges in. You don't really have a choice. You know, and this is the sequence that was written by the writer, so you have to do it, whether you want to or not.
It's not real life.
No, it's not. It's not real life. And it's not life imitating art
Right.
or art imitating life. You know, Francois Truffaut said it the best. Filmmaking is capturing life at 24 frames a second. That's what filmmaking is. And it's our job to be as realistic and honest and open and willing to be those things for people to enjoy what we do. That's our job. Your job isn't your objective or your motivation or any of that crap. I'll tell you what your objective is. Your objective is to get the job. Your motivation is to get paid.
Those the check clears.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and hope to check. No, they clear. You may have to fight for it sometimes, but they normally clear.
It'll clear.
Let's do this again. Be a little more standoffish at the beginning. You were sort of, I don't know, not sure whether you were happy to see him, not happy to see him. So let's be a little more definitive about that. Something, obviously, it doesn't matter what it was, because, you know, the old David Mamet story I tell, with the executive producer calling him and saying, well, how long was the guy in Germany? And David Mamet says, how the hell should I know? I don't know. We said, you wrote the script? Yeah, but he could have been there 5 minutes, 5 years, 5 days. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's not part of the story. He just was in Germany. Who cares? So we don't know what transpired between these two people, but it's important for you to have an instantaneous response to how he comes into the sequence. Okay?
Got it.
Okay, cool. We ready in the booth?
Am I good still, Jill?
Yeah. Both of you are still good.
We're rolling. We have speed. We have a mark. Action.
Hello, Howard.
Hello, Peter.
I was just passing by and thought I'd drop in. You know, I haven't seen you in, like, forever. Did you know that Guy Francois made me his partner last week?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, you don't keep track of my career, but I watch yours. Yeah, it's called Francois and Keating now, and I guess I don't have to tell you that Guy Francois is the leading architect in the country right now.
No, you don't have to tell me.
Remember how I told you once that I'd rise? Remember how I told you that?
You were
Are you waiting for something, Howard?
you telling me about Guy Francon?
Right, yeah, I was just telling you about what I once predicted. So. You know, I hate to see you down like this, man. You know, you remember how we started? And look at us now. Haven't you had enough?
Why did you come here, Peter?
Because we're old friends and I hate to see you beaten.
I'm not.
Well, it's no use in lying about it. I mean, you haven't had a client in a year.
You're wrong. It's been a year and a half.
Right. You might have a couple $100 left and then that's it.
Oh, well, let's see.
Yeah.
It's $14 and 57 cents.
Oh, it's impressive. You think that's enough to pay off all the bills? I mean, this is an unpaid light bill, isn't it?
No, that's a disconnect notice, and that's an eviction notice.
Mm-hmm. How much more of that can you take?
What's the reason you came here, Peter? Why are you here?
Well, you know, I want to help, and you've given me a couple indications here that that'd probably be the best thing to do, but I
No
don't know.
thanks. No thanks, Peter. I don't want your help. Thank you.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't give or ask for help, Peter.
Okay. When are you going to drop it?
What?
This, the charade or the pose or the ideals. Look, you can't stand alone anymore. Just give in. Learn how to get along with people, first of all, because that's always been a weak point of yours. And once you learn how to do that, start designing the buildings that everyone else designs, and then you will finally be rich. You'll be affluent, you'll be respected, and you'll finally be one of us.
I see. So that's what's bothering you right now is that I want to stand alone? Is that it?
You know, Howard, I don't know.
Yeah, Peter. You don't. It's late. Go home.
Oh, right. Have you lost your watch, Howard?
I hocked it. Good night.
Good luck.
See ya.
Bye.
And cut. There we go. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. So here's the thing. I say it all the time. Don't get sick of it. But the only way that the audience can be interested is if you are interesting. Sharing form. We've got to be interested in what we're watching. Otherwise, we go pee-pee or go get a Coke or go get a big bucket of popcorn or not off in the theater. Exactly right. Good work. The changes were very good, very specific, all very natural, all very... Here's the thing. Active listening. Active listening. I get right before COVID, some of you know I got to spend a whole evening with Morgan Freeman. It's one of the things we talked about the most.
Where was I?
You weren't invited.
I was, but I had to decline.
Yeah.
I was like,
Anyway, we talk about active listening. He said that's the most important thing he ever learned from any of the stars he was ever fortunate enough to work with, is to listen. And I was watching, what was I watching? Oh, I started watching, don't ask me why, because I'm not a big fan, but I started watching on Prime.
right.
And there's a scene, but he's talking, he's going through this wonderful monologue, and they cut to, and he's not listening. And because of the way we work, I knew he wasn't listening. So with a couple of people I was sitting and watching with, I said, what do you see here? What's not right? They said, well, he's not listening. He was pretending to listen, but he wasn't listening. Well, you can tell. And when it was time for his line, they cut to him, and he had been thinking about his line the whole time, and it was apparent that's what he was doing. Now, maybe to the average Joe Schmo, they may or may not see that, but you guys certainly would have. And the people I was sitting with are not, one's a writer and one's a sales marketing person. They're not aware of that, but they sensed it because he wasn't listening. So your listening skills, guys, the more you do this, are getting better and better and better and better. And I say this all the time, ad nauseum, I realize, but the only way the uncomfortable becomes comfortable is by doing the uncomfortable. It's the only way. The reason Benji is a totally different person now than he was 2.5 years ago. Well, it's true.
Just didn't want to be mentioned.
It's true. Well,
Too bad.
it's true because he's just a totally different
So
person.
that's
And
when he's a star, he's gonna have a hard
and-
time hearing
Now
that.
they're
And-
gonna have high expectations.
well, and it's exemplified in his work. You get the bullshit out of the way, get yourself out of the way, and all of a sudden things open up for you. You know. So good work.
Thank you, Brian.
Good
Thanks,
work.
Brian.
No, thank you guys.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
Jeannie, I know I'm going to have you work twice, so you want to go ahead and work with Adam?